Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about a potential cyclone that could form in the Indian Ocean that could affect Australia. So as in the last video yesterday, the GFS was taking them over towards the southwest. In the Euro, well, or known as the ECM WF, is taking them more south into Australia, but as a weaker system. So now let's see what the models are showing for today. So it's 6 o'clock Zulu run. So it's one sort of up-to-date one. So as we go on in towards the 4th and the 5th of January, you could see the GFS is a lot different from yesterday. It's a lot more east and south, and it's weaker. So it's more in line with the Euro now. And as we're going in towards the 6th and then into the 7th, it does start to intensify, and it starts to go southwest, but not as like southwest as it was yesterday. Yesterday it was going more like that, and then like with today's update, it's going more like that. So it's a lot more south in trajectory compared to yesterday. Then, as you see, goes towards Australia at 966 millibars. So that's towards a category 2 mid-range, maybe a category 3. Then it makes landfall in Western Australia as like a potential Cat 2, Cat 3 system. Then it just moves into Australia and then it fizzles out. Then another system tries to develop towards the middle of the month, but nothing really comes of it. And then there is another system that like forms off the back of it that goes into Australia as like a potential cyclone, but that's in the distance, so we don't want to go into that too much. But then after that goes, it's just pretty bare. Like there's nothing really going on, and you have to remember where this like cyclone's tracking over. It's the hottest part of the ocean in the world at the minute in any basin. It's like 32 to 33 degrees, so I wouldn't rule out rapid intensification. So it could be a Cat 3, Cat 4. So we'll just have to wait and see what the coming days like. So what happens in the coming days. If we look at wind shear, so as I said in the last video, it was showing quite favorable conditions. And if you don't know what wind shear is, it's basically wind aloft and wind on the ground, so it's basically just like wind shear. If the wind shear is high, say high aloft, like above 15-20 knots, then storms can't really form and become vertically stacked, because storms need very light shear, so around 5 to 10 knots preferably. And if that's the case, then convection can build around the low level circulation and the mid level circulation, and then the mid level circulation and the lower level circulation can come in line. And once they become in line, it becomes more stacked, like more vertically stacked. And then when the convection starts to build around the low level circulation, it can then build in a core, and then taking the latent heat and the heat of the ocean and then the moisture, and then it can start to form then. But when the wind shear is high, it's not allowed to do that, and it just rips it apart really. So as we go on towards the 5th of January, you could see the wind shear is pretty non-existent, and like there is a pretty decent outflow going towards the south and then the east. So the outflow is pretty decent, and the wind shear isn't too bad at all, to be honest. Then it does try to open in a dual outflow towards the end of the run, as it makes landfall. So when a dual outflow occurs in a storm, it's able to ventilate better, it's able to breathe, it's able to get them take more moisture in quicker and easier, and it's able to churn up heat like more fast and more like it's just able to do everything it could, but just more efficiently. And so then therefore could intensify more quicker if it opens a dual outflow. Then like the second system tries to form, and the wind shear looks more volatile, but still still kind of favorable, but we don't want to speculate too much with that, and then it fizzles out, and then there's nothing really going on. And then if you look at the relative humidity here, like for the GFS, obviously if it's turquoise and green, there's lots of moisture, and if there's brown, that's dry air, and like if that's around the cyclone, then that's bad for the cyclone, because if there's dry air that gets entrained into the core, it can disrupt it, and then it can start to weaken it, and then like rip it apart. So as we go to the 5th of January, we can see there is no dry air really at all. And if you look at the relative humidity, if it's above 60 to 65, as I said in the last video, it's pretty decent in the relative humidity. is around 99%. And if you look at the western side of the storm, it's around 80%. So the relative humidity isn't an issue at all. Then as we go towards landfall here, there could be some slight intrusions towards the eastern side, but that's not too much affected. I think that'll make it become more annular and more small. So the system might not be quite like big in nature, and then it makes landfall. But if you compare the 0 o'clock run, the morning run, compared to now, it's a lot further south. Can't compare to then. And then it makes landfall. Then the second system forms, and it is not favorable enough really to develop. And we don't want to speculate too much anyway because it's too far out. Then if we look at the ECM, and the ECM has been always shown a landfall towards Australia, and always like shown that like southerly track. And if we look, it just like say it's it's been shown, so it develops later and it's weaker, then it makes landfall in Australia, but it's way more east than the GFS. The GFS is around here, the ECM is further east, and it's a lot weaker. It's around 995 millibars, but I just don't really buy that because the sea surface temperatures are so warm, it can easily intensify like at a quicker rate than this. So we'll just have to wait and see. But if you're in the western parts of Australia, you need to keep an eye on this. It could easily rapidly intensify, so don't look at the ECM and the GM and that and think, oh, it's gonna be weak, so I'm not gonna prepare. Prepare as if a Cat 5's on the way. Like, so just like make sure you have everything in place. So I'm not saying like board up and do all that now because it's still uncertainty, but make sure you have all that ready, like boards ready and sandbags and all that. Like, make sure you are ready to go. Then like if it starts showing it still in the next day or two, then I would say if you're in the landfalls area, start to prepare, and obviously like listen for like to what your local authorities say for evacuations and all that. So we'll just have to keep an eye on it. And if we're looking at the sea surface temperature anomalies on average here, it's well above average. It's between 3.6 and 5 degrees, so that's extremely above average. And this is what I'm saying, this could easily intensify at a quicker rate than like what the models are showing. Like, look at the temperatures, 32 degrees, and there's probably hints of 32 degrees and probably hints of 33 degrees in there as well. And for cyclones and typhoons and hurricanes, the form you want it to be 26 or higher, and it's over 32. So it's got plenty of heat for it to develop, and wind shear's not too bad at all. Dry air could be the only issue, but then even then I'm like not seeing massive implications. And interestingly, in the Gulf of Carpentaria, it's starting to warm up really nicely as well. And if I look on average, it's between 0.4 and 1.2 degrees above average. So the Gulf of Carpentaria is warming up nicely, and if you remember, Trevor entered that area, and it did try to rapidly intensify until landfall, but it didn't have much time. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss another upload. And yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. And if you're on the western coast of Australia, just keep an eye on the forecast and my updates and your local authorities in the coming days. And I'll be doing another upload tomorrow about the system as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. And I'll be doing another video tomorrow.